My goal today is to figure out which of these sneakers are scams and which ones actually live up to the hype and their claimed benefits. I'm gonna try out each one, look at the research, and determine which of these companies have lied to you. Kicking us off is the $900 Nike Hyperboot. Now this massive thing is actually a collaboration between Hyperice, the recovery tech brand, and obviously Nike, the sportswear conglomerate. Seems like the perfect combination to scam you. I'm joking, we actually don't know that yet. So what is this shoe and what are its claims? So these are meant to help you warming up quicker for sports, also help your cool downs after sport, accelerate recovery, and relieve tension and relax your muscles. Now, it does all of this by using two different electronic components, heat and compression. Both of these two elements can be set to 3 different levels. So inside there's the heating element mainly surrounding the ankle area, and then in order to get compression, they use sacs of air that inflate, get tighter, and then obviously deflate. Now, like I said, there's 3 levels to this. Obviously, the higher the level, then the tighter it gets and the hotter it gets. You control all of this with the 4 buttons that are on the heel area. Now, if any of you have ever tried any of Hyperice's other products like the Normatec, legs, hips, all of the different body parts, you'll generally know how this works. This is essentially doing the same thing as those, just on your ankles. But what Nike is really bringing to the table with this product, instead of it just being a standalone Hyperice boot, is obviously the logo and marketing, but also the fact that you can walk around in them. That's something pretty unique to this product, because any of the other stuff that Hyperice wears, you usually have to lay or sit down. So how do these things work? Well, I will have to give it up to them. It's pretty simple. You slip your feet in using these Velcro straps. It's pretty easy to get on. Once you're in, you just turn on this power on button. It immediately starts making an annoying sound like that, and it starts getting a little bit tighter just to find the fit. You then have 3 other buttons, 2 of them to set the level of compression and the level of heat, and then a pause and play button. Once it's finished making that sound after you've entered your foot, you hit play on your desired settings, and it just gets to work for the next 15 minutes. So I've been using these quite a few different times, and I've tested their claims, so let's talk about it. So first things first, even trying to do a little bit of research on these things, you'll immediately notice that Nike and Hyperice didn't make these based off of scientific research. So how much it's actually going to help you recover from sports or running is not backed up by actual science. What they mainly base a lot of the legitimacy of this product on is athlete testimonials. The 2 that they have on their website obviously give these boots glowing reviews because they are Nike athletes. Now, I'm not saying that they're lying or anything like that. I'm just saying there might be a little bit of a conflict of interest in terms of giving these an unbiased review. Now, for the actual tech inside, it is very impressive. Obviously, having something like this is cool, it's futuristic, and anybody you show this boot to is going to be fascinated. But a lot of the results of actually being able to recover, all of that stuff, that is a lot more subjective. Now, the individual components like heat and compression do have some science behind it, but at the very most, the benefits that you would get from this tech is very, very marginal and certainly not worth the $900 price point. Now, a lot of the other reviews online are pretty mixed, which is interesting. Some people say that they absolutely love these things. Other people are saying that it's a gimmick. So here's my opinion after what I found when I was wearing them. Now, the first time I put these things on, I was in genuine excitement. I was smiling. It was crazy. You put your feet in these things, you feel the compression, you feel the heat, and honestly, it's fun. Kind of felt good, like a little bit of a massage. But during the second and third time when I was using these, that wow factor quickly wore off, and they kind of just became a little bit annoying. Mostly because of how loud they are. I tried to wear these when I was working, and it was just, it's way too loud. You need noise canceling headphones, I think. Things got worse when I tried to walk around in them. One of the main reasons that this is an actual boot and not one of those giant leg things that you lay down and wear. And they're massive, they're very chunky, they're not practical, they're heavy, they squeak, and if you try walk while it's supposed to be doing the whole compression and heating thing, it doesn't feel the same at all. And it turns out if you actually look into it, Nike and Hyperice both state that these are only meant for, very small bits of motion, like around your house. You're sat down, you're wearing them, you need a glass of water from the kitchen, you step up and you grab it. So certainly not something that is intended to be actually walked around in, like if you're walking around outside, you know, in the streets. So overall, what is the final verdict on the Nike Hyperboot? Well, to summarize this in the easiest comparison I can think of, I feel like these draw a lot of similarities to the Apple Vision Pro. Amazing tech, but just not very many use cases, extremely overpriced. The Nike Hyperboot is not really a scam, but definitely more of a gimmick. It lacks any real major benefits, especially ones that justify the price point. Now, next up, we have a pair of shoes that I have been testing every single day for the past 3 months now. So back in August, I started my barefoot journey and purchased my very first pair of Vivos. Now, there's a lot of other companies that sell barefoot shoes, but these seem to be at least one of the largest. So what exactly is a barefoot shoe? Well, for starters, it's the complete opposite of those Nike boots. These things are supposed to be, I guess, shoes that are trying to not be shoes. So for starters, barefoot shoes will have zero drop, meaning they are completely flat. They're going to be very flexible, so extremely thin little layer of rubber underneath your feet, so you get as much ground feel as possible. They also have a very wide toe box, so they don't restrict your feet in any way. Moving on to the claims of barefoot shoes. This is where things get pretty interesting because Vivo specifically, but pretty much all barefoot shoes don't just boast about the claims that these things can provide you, but they also put down your regular shoes. Okay, so I had to show you the website because Vivo and other barefoot shoe companies have entire pages dedicated to how bad your regular sneakers are for you. Now, obviously, they have all of their stats, like wearing Vivos for 6 months increases foot strength by 60%. Now, that is backed up by science, so that's pretty solid. But here goes the problems with your shoes. They give off stats like 77% of people have problems with their feet, 80% of women live with bunions or other foot deformities, and talk about, you know, that's mostly because of the cushioned sneakers that you're wearing, the narrow toe boxes, and the rigid structures. And that brings us to an entire section of, I guess, the main claims of barefoot shoes and what happens when you go barefoot. Improves posture, balance, and stability. Prevents and improves bunions and plantar fasciitis. Stronger, healthier feet, increased mobility, reduced risk of joint stress and related conditions. Better sensory feedback and foot function. Then we got this, which I thought was pretty interesting, the don't just take our word for it. And then they have 4 different people, Timbaland and Tati Gabrielle, who all of these people have been paid or are endorsed by Vivo. So it's not necessarily don't just take our word for it. There's other people it's don't just take our word for it. Here's some of our paid people who you can take their word for it. I think Timbaland actually did a collaboration with Vivo on a pair of shoes. I think Radhi Shetty is like actually a partner of Vivo. John announced signing a multi-year partnership. Either way, this is pretty common for a lot of these brands. So obviously we need to find out how much of this is fear-mongering or marketing tactics, or is it all just true? And are we really going to change our lives wearing these things? Now, it ultimately turns out that there is a decent amount of scientific research on barefoot shoes. Now, some of the studies show different things or are kind of looking out for different things, but there has been multiple studies done on barefoot shoes improving your foot strength. And a lot of the research does show that these, in fact, do improve your foot strength if you do wear them for 6 months plus. Some of the research also shows balance improvements, but this is mainly when you're actually wearing the barefoot shoes. And you can easily chalk that down to, you know, the sole being so flat that your foot does get a lot of sensory feel from the actual ground, so you feel more stable and thus more balanced. Now, a lot of the studies also showed that these cause more injuries. A study done in 2014 found that a lot of people developed pain in their feet, their calves, and their shins. This led to a lot more research being done in that specific area of potentially these causing issues. And what they eventually found out was that it's mainly due to the fact of people transitioning from their regular shoes immediately to a pair of barefoot shoes. Because these are so different to your standard sneakers, they do have a higher short-term injury risk if you switch too fast. But once you've adapted to them, risk evens out, but doesn't actually drop below normal shoes. So it's kind of the same. Do these prevent injuries? The short answer is no, so that claim is out the window. So it's a little bit more mixed, but what did I find personally after wearing these for the past 3 months? Well, well, it turns out, despite what I thought the end of this test would actually be, I like these things. And yes, I will be continuing to wear them for the foreseeable future. Now, that doesn't come without caveats and when I will wear these, because it's only going to be for specific things. Personally, these have not convinced me to be someone who literally switches to barefoot shoes throughout my entire rotation. There's a lot of scenarios where I would not wear these things. I tried running and absolutely hated it. It felt rough on my feet and my joints. And even if I stuck to running and forcing myself and adapted to these shoes, you know, there's a reason why performance shoes exist. You don't see anybody winning marathons in barefoot shoes. However, wearing these to the gym was absolutely amazing. I found especially during leg-focused workouts, they felt great. They made me feel a little bit stronger, like I could lift more during squats, deadlifts, leg press. I also like walking in these things too. I have a personal goal of trying to hit at least 10,000 steps every single day. Whenever I need to knock out a chunk of those steps, I do it in these, and they feel great. But outside of that, you know, wearing these for style, certainly not. I think these are some of the ugliest shoes I own. The wide, flat, low profileness of these shoes, just not a great look, at least in my opinion. So final verdict, are these a scam? No, I actually think they're legit. The marketing is definitely hyperbolic. A lot of the posture and natural healing side of it is just marketing fluff, but I would recommend these to anybody who goes to the gym. Next up is a pair of shoes you don't actually buy. You subscribe to him. Yes, the on-running sneaker that is only available if you're willing to pay $30 a month, which you are locked in for at least 6 months. So, to make this perfectly clear that how crazy this idea is, you will be renting these shoes, and you will never own them.
What?
So how this essentially works is you pay a monthly fee. On sends you a pair of the shoes. You wear them, and then you send them back to On for recycling. Hey, but if you don't send them back within 30 days, you will be charged a penalty. What? So to put this very simply, it's basically a rental system marketed as sustainability. So here's the claims. The shoes are made from over 90% recyclable bio-based materials. Another claim or selling point is the fact that you can swap these out every single 6 months for a brand new pair. You send the old ones back to On, they recycle them, send you a new one. And obviously another main claim, or I guess selling point, would be that you are saving the world by helping the environment out with these shoes.
Gonna take pollution down to zero.
Okay, so this one's pretty straightforward. Like, I guess a nice idea. You know, you're saving shoes from ending up in landfills, but the details here are so crazy. It honestly doesn't even make sense to me. As far as what the data shows, there's a lot of gaps and loads of different reasons to at least be very skeptical of the whole environmental thing. On doesn't actually disclose how much material is lost in the recycling process, or how many shoes fail the process and end up being disposed of anyway. And then for the actual consumer getting this pair of shoes, it gets even worse. In their terms, which again are laid out like a rental agreement, it's kind of hard and confusing to even cancel your subscription. It's $360 a year to rent these things. And also, because they're made of recyclable materials, the likelihood of these shoes being far less durable than your standard sneakers is very high. The shoes themselves, from a design perspective, are pretty boring. They come in this one beige brown color. And the general feel, fit, and everything about these shoes, it's pretty hard to find anything that is better than what you can find from any other manufacturer, or even On's regular lineup themselves. So, final verdict, are the subscription shoes, the $30 a month shoes, a scam? In my opinion, definitely yes. Next, we have what everyone calls the world's most futuristic sneaker. This is the Zellerfeld 3D printed shoe, and I've been wearing these for 2 to 3 years now. Well, not this exact shoe, but shoes from Zellerfeld that are fully 3D printed. Interestingly, along this time frame, I've noticed like their shoes have evolved massively since their first ones. The latest products that they make are hardly even the same as the originals. They are so much better in so many different ways. They're more comfortable, more durable, look better. They've evolved the material process. You can have different colors and different panels. And I say all of this just to kind of note at how quickly this technology is evolving. Now, for the main main claims of a 3D printed shoe, what are they trying to sell you? The first one is a completely custom fit. Now, I believe Zellerfeld is the only place that offers this, at least I haven't come across any others. But essentially, you scan your foot using your phone and they print the shoe completely to your foot. So it's a custom fit. Another selling point is zero production weight. So obviously you don't have scraps of material and glue or anything like that. No slave labor or bad working conditions because, well, robots made these, not massive supply chains or manufacturing lines. And then the shoes are sustainable because they can be broken down and recycled into a new shoe. The last massive one for 3D printing is obviously the infinite design possibilities. Because they are printing it, you can do stuff with the design of each shoe that you just cannot get or achieve with the traditional design process. And then I guess a side note or a claim that I've particularly noticed about Zellerfeld is the fact that it's kind of the manufacturer but also the brand at the same time. One of the coolest things, in my opinion, is the fact that literally anybody can create a Zellerfeld shoe. Yes, even you watching with zero experience. And I think that's pretty crazy. You could literally make a pair of shoes the exact same as Nikes that exist. Like, that kind of technology in my mind is just pretty wild. But what is the consumer actually getting out of this? Well, let's go through some of these claims, and starting with the custom fit. This one is a little bit hit or miss. So when I scanned my foot, it turned out fine. These things fit me perfectly, and all of the other ones that I have owned. But I've also seen a lot of other people who had issues scanning their feet. It turns out too tight or too big or just doesn't, fit their arch support. So I don't think the whole scanning your feet thing is 100% accurate right now. The recycling aspect could also be a little bit shaky. The material used in these is TPU, and when you melt it down to reuse it and recycle it, it does actually lose some of its usable quality, which essentially means that by design and by material, these things are not infinitely recyclable. So you could probably recycle this shoe, turn it into a new one 2, maybe 3 times, but after that, you're gonna have to start using a new material. Now, from an actual are these shoes good standpoint, 100%. Some drawbacks would definitely be the price point and the fact that they do take quite a long time to ship. But the product itself is extremely comfortable, extremely durable as well. I've done multiple wear tests on the channel where I have put these things through some pretty crazy stuff. Set them on fire, driven over them in a car, pressure washed them, the list goes on. So final verdict, are 3D printed shoes a scam? No. But what about AI shoes? Yes, the latest and greatest buzzword moving around the industry. Now, it's across all different industries, but it's made its way into sneakers now. So when I say AI shoes, I mean companies relentlessly marketing their shoes as AI design. They're using that as one of the main selling points of their sneakers, and there's a lot of different brands doing this. This is one example, a brand that is calling this the world's first AI designed shoe. Puma did this, releasing a completely AI designed shoe. Nike even did this, except theirs was a little bit more prototyping and less like an actual released product and marketed that way. So what are the benefits and claims? I honestly don't even know. Maybe slightly wilder, more random looking designs is the selling point, but ultimately, clearly, they're capitalizing on the AI craze that's going on right now. So this one's gonna be pretty simple. Unless you really like the designs that these brands come up with that are AI generated, I don't see a single benefit from any of them. In my opinion, it actually only kind of detracts from the product. Kind of makes me think that whoever designed the shoes has just put a lot less effort into designing them than an actual designer would do. So this one's going to be pretty quick, simple, and easy. Is this a scam? Final verdict. Yes. Now, to be clear, brands that use AI in their design process or to help them create a pair of shoes, that's completely fine. I'm specifically talking about the brands who use it as the entire shoe. This is the AI shoe. This is the AI design shoe. Any of that, that's the scammy weird stuff. But there you have it, guys. So let me know down in the comment section if you've tried any of these shoes. And like always, I'm gonna leave a video in the top left-hand corner. Check it out.